That's right, 2 episodes in 2 days. We got a fresh cut, a fresh fantasy team, fresh rivalry uniforms, finally, and a fresh hatred for screen recording software. That was awful yesterday. This is number 169 of Hoagies and Pierogis, a proper episode for this week. Recorded in central Pennsylvania in front of a live studio audience with your host Ian DiCarlo, this is Hoagies and Pierogis. Alright, yep, I thought I had it all figured out yesterday or on Tuesday before the fantasy draft. I had the screen recording software downloaded. I tested it out. Everything went fine. The only thing that I didn't do was make sure that it could be exported through Premiere. So, I recorded the whole hour and a half of the fantasy draft through my screen recording software. I had it all up on ESPN. Halfway through the night, I woke up. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I woke up to my computer, completely black desktop, and an error message. And then once I got rid of that error message, I just could not click anything on the desktop. Nothing that I did got rid of it. Nothing made it normal again. I had to restart my computer. Then I had to re-edit the video. And then I was like, oh, well, okay, maybe if I just try to get rid of some stuff, maybe I had too much memory on my computer, maybe that would help it. Nope, I come back from work after doing it at 5:30 in the morning, and same error message, same black screen on the desktop. I don't know what the hell was going on. This time I tried again at home. I was sitting here watching it. It got to 45% exported, and it crashed. No black desktop this time, but it did just crash the Premiere. I just decided to go no screen recording. I figured it was the screen recording software that was causing this. So I got rid of that, uninstalled that, just got rid of the video completely. I tried to do it with the screen recorded Discord chat that I had, but it would have taken forever, so I just decided, fuck the video. Most people are going to listen to it on audio anyway on Spotify, so that's that. I was so sick of that. I might never try to screen record the draft again. It was funny. You should listen to it, but I just put it up. There were like 8 minutes of total silence that I cut out in the edited version, but this time I just uploaded it straight up because I was sick of it. I was just sick of waiting. So, just skip through the silence. But first, before we get to football, we got some baseball to go over. The Pirates, obviously, we have to go over them first. The Rockies series. And actually, you know what? This week for Pirates has been good, so I'm not going to complain too much. But I've seen enough. Just let Ashcraft start the game and have Bubba Chandler finish it. Ashcraft went 5 innings, giving up only 1 hit and 1 walk with 6 strikeouts. And then Bubba Chandler closed out the game for the 4-inning save with some nasty pitches, and the Pirates won 9-0. As long as you go at least 3 innings at the end of the game, you'll get the save no matter what the score is. You don't have to be within that 3-run minimum for a save like at the end of the game, like as per normal for a 1-inning save. But for Bubba, that fastball is crisp, hitting 100 and hitting 99 consistently. And with a 93-mile-per-hour changeup, he will be nasty. With a fastball changeup combo being your 2 best pitches to start it out, you'll be fine. And he also has a great slider. Bubba allowed just 2 hits and hit a batter with 3 strikeouts. He had 2 of those strikeouts with a fastball painted on the outside corner, right on that outside edge, and then 1 with that changeup, like down and in towards the batter, towards the right-handed batter. Shades of A.J. Burnett attitude-wise.
Oh, yeah!
I love to see it. He was walking off the mound after that strikeout, and he was like, let's fucking go, like that. I thought he was saying, like, it's about time, let's fucking go. And yeah, it's about time he's been in the majors. He's obviously showing that he wanted to be here, and just being down in the minors was discouraging him so much. In the next game, Triolo got the 2 hardest legs of the cycle in the home run and the triple, and then Kutch hit his first home run since August 1st to take Game 2 of the series 5-1. Mike Burrows continues to do well in these shorter, like 4 to 5 inning starts that he's having with like 50 to 60 pitches. But he's been shoving, like with 6 strikeouts, like every single time, an automatic 6 strikeouts. And then make it a sweep on Skeens Day. Skeens went 7 innings with 7 strikeouts, and the Pirates pitched their league leading 16th shutout of the season. The Tigers are the next closest behind them with 14 shutouts. And yet the Tigers are one of the top teams in the league, and the Bucks are sitting near the bottom. How many times have the Bucks been shut out compared to how many times they've shut out opponents? They've been shut out 15 times compared to the 16 times that they shut them out. That is the worst in the league by 2. The Rockies have been shut out 13 times. The Nationals have been shut out 11 times. And the White Sox have been shut out 8 times. Those are the only 3 teams with the worse records than the Pirates, and even their offenses aren't as bad as the Bucks. They won that game 4-0. And then the Cardinal series, which is what I was waiting for here to end so I could record today. Game 1, the Cardinals beat the Bucks 7-6, and it is such bullshit that Santana gets the loss after Heaney gave up 5 runs in the 5th inning. Why? Why the fuck? I said this at that time. Why was he still on the team and not Bailey Falter? Falter should have stayed instead of him. Fuck you, Ben Cherington. I hope you rot in hell. And Ben Cherington also said, basically said that fries on a sandwich can rot in hell. So, you know what? I feel justified saying that. After the game, Heaney was cut after he collected his $250,000 for shitting the bed. So, goodbye, Heaney. There's the monkey's paw curling. We wanted everyone to get their incentives last year, like with Rowdy Tellez. We wanted Heaney to get his this year, but at what cost? The Pirates won Game 2 8-3 behind a season-high 9 strikeouts for Mitch Keller in 6 innings. It's also nice to see Brian Reynolds putting together some good at-bats and to see Triolo staying hot on offense. The Hayes trade honestly doesn't seem so bad, but I've seen like 10 clips of Hayes since he's been traded. And he just used to do that stuff regularly with the Pirates, and I never saw nearly as many clips like within a 1-month span as I have with Hayes on the Reds. Oh, but here we go. Another day, another 4-inning outing for Bubba Chandler. This time for his first major league win. 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs allowed with 4 strikeouts. Mlodzinski went 3 innings and gave up the only run of the game, but he's been very solid. He has a 3.86 ERA on the season now. I didn't know it was that low, and I would have guessed that it was in the mid-4s if you would have asked me. Matson and Santana closed out the game, and the Pirates won 2-1. And then the game that I was waiting for today, Yohan Ramirez completely blew the game in the 7th inning after getting just 1 out and allowing 3 runs. He closed out the 6th inning, but not after he threw 2 of the worst curveballs that I've ever seen. Like, it's almost like he forgot how to throw a curveball. 1 hit the first batter he faced, a righty, square in the middle of the shoulder blades. That must have hurt, even though it was still at 80 miles an hour. The second bad curveball was to a lefty that would have hit a righty right in the head. It was that far off in the other batter's box. Those were the deciding runs that Ramirez gave up, and the series ended in a 2-2 split with the Cardinals winning Game 4, 4-1. The Pirates are sitting at, let's see here. Let me do a reload of this. 59-78. They're not going to get to 75.5. They're not going to get their over this year. I was lucky last year. Not going to get so lucky this year unless they go on an absolute heater, which they have Boston up next, then the Dodgers, then Milwaukee. That's extremely rough. God, that's a rough 10-game stretch. 9-game stretch. And then Baltimore, Washington, then back to the Cubs, then the Athletics, then Cincinnati, and then Atlanta to close out the season. Eesh. That beginning of September in the next series against Boston is not going to be good to them. All right, around the league, what do we got here? The Blue Jays are still leading the AL East, 3.5 games up on the Red Sox, and the Red Sox are still 1 game up on the Yankees. The Tigers are 78-57, 8.5 games up on the Royals. And then this one, the most interesting division race to me, the Astros and the Mariners are sitting right at the top of the AL West. Astros are 74-60, Mariners are 72-62, so they're 2 games behind. In the NL East, the Phillies just kind of shit the bed against the Mets at Citi Field, but they still have a 4-game lead over the Mets. They're 76-57. Mets are 72-61. The Brewers still have the best record by 5 games. They're 83-52, lead the Cubs by 6 games in the division. And then for the NL West, the Dodgers are still leading by 2 games over the Padres. Padres are 75-59, and the Dodgers are 77-57. And it is funny down there to already see an E next to Colorado's name. After the Pirates swept Colorado, they were eliminated from playoff contention. They are currently 38-96. They're going to break the White Sox record from last year, I think. Yeah, there's no way they're not going to. That's impressive in the worst way possible. Oh, and then for the Mariners this past week, Cal Rayleigh, big dumper, Thicky Mantle, hit his 49th and 50th home run to break the record, the AL record for most home runs by a catcher in a season. By a primary catcher, I should say. Salvador Perez recently, before that, held the record at 48. And then last bit of baseball here. I know I want to get to football. Chinese Taipei kind of ran away with the Little League World Series and won the championship 7-0. That's what happens when you have a 12-year-old that can throw 82 miles an hour. College football. Yes, it is back. We had our first real game of the season last week. Our first ranked-on-ranked matchup and our first upset of the season. Let's go. Who do I bet on? Who did I bet on? Iowa State, baby. Not even a doubt in my mind until there was a doubt in the fourth quarter. But, of course, it was raining in Dublin. It was a horribly sloppy game. It was 7-7 at halftime, and the rain was just nonstop. They had to repaint the lines, and even after they repainted the lines, they disappeared almost immediately. 2 fumbles from each team, penalties galore for KSU. Both failed 4th down conversions. No one could hold on to the ball at all when they were passing it. Kind of just bad up until the fourth quarter. Then the sun came out, and then all hell broke loose. KSU tied the game at 14, but then ISU scored in their next 2 possessions to make it 24-14. KSU put up another touchdown after that, but ISU made it down to the goal line and kneeled it out to win 24-21. I got super lucky with the under there because the ISU runner went down inside the 1-yard line after he tried to score the touchdown. If he would have scored, it would have gone over by a half a point on the extra point. But that's kind of not the story here with this game, unfortunately, because Avery Johnson's dad got in a fist fight after the game with his other son. Yes, Avery Johnson's brother got in a fight with Avery Johnson's dad outside the stadium. What the hell was going on? And yes, that is his biological family. His sister, though. But it was a great way to start out the season in that game. The fourth quarter, madness. That was what college football is all about. But now for week 1, and today's Thursday, so tonight is the Boise State game. I don't know how they're going to do without Ashton Jeanty. He was basically their entire offense last season. And they're playing South Florida. I don't know how good South Florida is supposed to be, but they're always kind of pesky. They're always kind of hanging around in there. And then Saturday, first game of the day, Lee Corso's last headwear game. Last game day, I should say. Number 1, Texas. At number 3, Ohio State in the Horseshoe. That's the big one that's up first. Like I said last week, Texas might be the worst out of the top 5 teams. Their players are doing a lot of talking already. And I think Julian Super Saiyan is going to fuse with Jeremiah Smith and make a Gogeta-like quarterback wide receiver combo and wreak havoc on the Big Ten. Fox and YouTube TV settled on a short-term deal, so the football on Saturday is not in jeopardy. And then Penn State plays at 3:30, but they play Nevada, so, well, they better win by at least 50 is all I'm saying right now. I also believe that's when Alabama and Florida State play each other, and it would be hilarious if Florida State beat Alabama. Alabama is number 8. Florida State is unranked. But the next big game isn't until 7:30 when LSU goes to Clemson. Number 9 LSU goes to number 4 Clemson. I hope LSU gets their asses kicked. God damn it. Well, first off, I hate Brian Kelly. And second off, I believe in Cade Klubnik. I really do believe that he's the best quarterback in this draft class. I'm pretty sure I said that last week, but I'm doubling down. I'm saying it again. Clemson, good luck. I hope you'll do a lot better than Ole Miss did last year for me. And then there's a big one on Sunday since the NFL doesn't start until next weekend with number 6 Notre Dame going down to number 10 Miami. Notre Dame just changed their logo for the first time in 60 years. Each Fighting Irish logo will be sports specific, so this one is carrying a football. So yes, I already parlayed Ohio State minus 2.5, Clemson minus 3.5, and then Miami money line. I'm going for the upset. Like I said last week, Carson Beck is going to shred the ACC in my opinion. And I know Notre Dame isn't technically in the ACC, but they may as well be an ACC team. And then last game of the week, it's going to be Bill Belichick's debut, UNC versus TCU. Let's go. I'm looking forward to it. Actually, now that I think about it, if Jordan Hudson's there, they're going to show her on the camera as much as they showed Taylor Swift, which we'll get into that in a second here. So maybe I'm not looking forward to it that much. In other news, the SEC is moving to a 9-game conference schedule next year to match with the Big Ten so they can get just bragging rights, I guess. I don't know. Does it even matter at this point? And then also, Chipotle is giving every scholarship and walk-on student athlete at Florida, Georgia, and Ohio State a customized card granting them free Chipotle for the duration of their respective athletic seasons. This was the funniest tweet. UGA players pulling up to Chipotle. And that's it for college football. And I already mentioned it, but yes, Travis Kelce just got engaged to Taylor Swift. It's real. So is it going to be Travis Swift or Taylor Kelce? And it was actually really funny. The 2026 MLB schedules were released right as she posted the news to Instagram, and Cleveland's Twitter was not happy about it. Congrats to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. It's nice. It's a real relationship. It's just kind of like it's a love story, baby. Just say fuck that. All right. So last week the Patriots had their last preseason game against the Giants. It ended horribly. Jackson Dart looked very good, and he threw a touchdown to Greg Dulcich on the first drive of the game, and that's when I turned it off. I was not paying attention to that after that at all. Ben Woolridge started the game, not even Josh Dobbs. Very boring. And then the roster cutdowns came on Tuesday before we had our draft. The most surprising one, I think, was Cole Strange was cut. That was a little surprising to me. Rip Strange 69. We will always have you in our hearts. We will always have your jersey. And then also, Jalen Polk is out the whole 2025 season with after undergoing shoulder surgery. So he's going to be put on the IR. He's done for this year. And speaking of wide receivers, the Patriots initially kept 8 of them, but on Wednesday they released Kendrick Bourne and then Baker right after that. So they were down to 6 wide receivers now on the roster. Bourne was the oldest, most expensive receiver on the roster, so it only made sense to get rid of him. And then John Giles made it to the practice squad over Javon Baker. I'm a little shocked they didn't keep Baker on special teams. He was in there on like every single tackle, so I don't know if they just don't like his attitude that much. It's not surprising. He never made anyone in wheelchairs stand up, so yeah, that's unfortunate for him. But yeah, on the offensive line, like I said, Cole Strange was cut. They must really like Jared Wilson there to play at center or left guard wherever they need him. But there were really no other shocking cuts made on Tuesday. But we have to get into the signings and the trades. This is going to be in chronological order. So the biggest one is going to be coming up last. It was a shocker to me because it happened right before I started recording this. Yeah, the Commanders traded away Brian Robinson Jr. to the 49ers which makes total sense for the 49ers, but not so much for the Commanders because the running back room is all of a sudden Austin Eckler, Bill, formerly known as Jacory, and then Jeremy McNichols. That's kind of bad. But in extension news, the first extension up, they finally extended McLaurin to a 3-year deal worth up to $96 million and is valued at $29 million per year right now. The other holdout was Trey Hendrickson, and the Bengals agreed to a $14 million increase for his salary this year, so he's going to be making $30 million this year. He still should be a free agent next year, but I heard that they could still franchise tag him next year, possibly. Kyle Hamilton's now the highest paid safety in the league after signing his 4-year, $100.4 million extension with the Ravens at $25.1 million a year. Good for him. I mean, that Ravens secondary is very good, and he was the lead cause of that. The Vikings traded for Adam Thielen, so the Panthers must really believe in Tetaroa McMillan and Jalen Coker, and hopefully Xavier Legette keeps improving. I would love for him to stick around. But if he doesn't stick around, he can come on the podcast to be my guest every week. I might not understand him half the time, but I'd love it. So another wide receiver news, and we have a little bit, actually the next two things are about wide receivers. The Jaguars traded for Tim Patrick from the Lions. Much like the Panthers, they must believe in Isaac Tesla a lot up there in Detroit. And I also picked up both Jalen Coker and Isaac Tesla. So he might be the breakthrough rookie that I'm looking for this year, just like Brian Thomas Jr. was. So while that Tim Patrick trade has a chance to take away some targets from Brian Thomas Jr., I think it might actually open it up a little bit for him underneath to get some easy catches. And then negative news for a wide receiver, which is actually positive news for him personally. Rashee Rice offered to settled on a 6-game suspension to start the season instead of waiting for the judgment at the end of September when his hearing was supposed to be. The NFL was actually looking to suspend him for 10 to 12 games. So this was a big win for him, like I was alluding to. I figured it would be a lot since Addison got 3 for his DUI when he was caught sleeping in his car at the airport. That's a little different than causing an accident that flips a car and then walking away from it. And then the big one. This one, I was like almost shaking when I was typing this. Holy fucking shit. Micah Parsons traded to the Packers and he signs a 4-year, $188 million deal with $136 million of that guaranteed. That is $47 million per year. Far and away the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. Like what the fuck? No way. Just rip Dallas sports fans. I feel so bad for you. Jesus Christ. That is a massive amount for Green Bay to pay for him, but he has been totally worth it. He's been one of the only players, I think one of 3 players with 12 sacks over the past 5 seasons. So 100% worth it. They gave up 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. So Kenny Clark is a very good defensive tackle. So I don't know. The Cowboys gained a good defensive tackle, but I don't think they absolutely lost a huge piece of their pass rush. They might be good in the run game, but they might, I don't know, will they be able to create more interior pressure now that Kenny Clark is there? I don't know. Does this benefit both of them? Oh my God, there's so much to this. Oh, Jesus Christ. Apparently the Cowboys have had talks about trading Parsons since last year. It's just insane. The first round picks are for next year, 2026 and 2027. But that was something shocking that I was not expecting at all before I started recording this. I don't know. It's the Cowboys. They're probably going to squander those 2 first round picks, to be honest with you. But the Packers must think that this pushes them over the edge immediately. I mean, it absolutely does. Their defense, even without Kenny Clark now, I don't. It would have been amazing if they would have gotten to keep Kenny Clark. They would have been probably top 5 defense in the league right away, just because of that, because of their defensive line. But I don't know. It's who else do they have on the defensive line? The Packers. I have no idea. We're gonna have to see how this plays out because this is just too crazy for me to process right now without having like a day to think about it. Okay, before we go over the fantasy draft, I will kind of I'll just do that at the end because I know a lot of people don't like to hear about fantasy. Whatever, that's a big part of what I do. But the Nike Rivalries jerseys dropped. Finally, after waiting over a month for them from the other alternates. We may as well start with the Patriots. And everybody can calm down. I think these look very nice. They're not the coolest or anything crazy like that. They're not dog shit, though, like a lot of people are saying. The only thing that I don't really like are the stars, the red stars around the collar. And there should be a little bit more red in there, but I don't know. I like that the blue is a little bit more of a grayish blue than a UNC blue, like a lot of people were thinking. And it actually reminds me a little bit of the color of my car. They did bring back the 90s numbers. The NE logo on the shoulder is growing on me a little bit the more I look at it. But those numbers, the shadow of the numbers should be a little bit bigger like they were on the 90s jerseys. But just because of that, I'm getting it. But you can't buy it until September 10th. We already waited this long to see them revealed. Why do you not have them available to roll out right when you announce them? That doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, there's also like a little netting pattern on the shoulder. I think that's cool. Everyone is saying they look like the Colts jerseys, but I think this looks more like a dull blue Houston Oilers uniform. If you think this looks like the Colts uniform, you're colorblind. Because that is such a dull blue compared to the Colts. And the shoulder stripes are like angled as opposed to the Colts, which just come straight down. I like them. I really do. I was fully expecting to hate them, but they're good, especially compared to some of these other ones. All right, for the Jets. The jersey might be the darkest green that I've ever seen. It really is almost black. But I don't know why you wouldn't make the helmet and pants the same color. The pants and helmet are just black. Well, actually, are the pants black or is that the same green that the jersey is? I can't even tell. I don't like those shoulder details, and I hate the font numbers. It looks like a football team that showed up in the middle of a medieval times restaurant. Go back to the Ren Fair. Okay, for the Bills, I'm really glad the Patriots didn't go in this direction with the all-white. The only thing cool about this is the Bills logo on the shoulder, which is like, it looks like cracked ice almost. But the all-whites, like I said, just very lazy. This Dolphins one is also very weird. This is also lazy because it's just a black Dolphins jersey with a weird like blue strip around the number. Like it's supposed to look like it's shimmering underwater. I don't get it. On to the NL West. The Cardinals. Initially, I thought these ones looked great until I saw the NFL memes tweet that said it looks like a tortilla. I thought it looked like specks of dirt, like they just walked through a sandstorm or something. But I think a tortilla really is more appropriate. I still like them, though. I like the state on the shoulder. For the Rams, okay, these might be the worst ones. This is extremely lazy and also just looks bad. Why not make the whole jersey that color that they're calling midnight blue but is obviously black? Why leave the shoulder that color blue? It doesn't make any sense. It's also just the regular Rams jersey. For the 49ers, on the opposite end of the spectrum, these are clean. Love the number font. It reminds me of like a train ticket or something, or like a movie stub. They are in California. They kept the rest simple, and these are great. Just keep it simple, stupid. And then for the Seahawks, I'm not too sure about these. I really like the helmet matching the shine on like the numbers, but I don't know if I like that sound wave ripple pattern on the top of the jersey. These ones might grow on me, though. I think they might look really good on the field. So my top three are probably the 49ers, the Patriots, obviously some bias there, and the Cardinals in that order. But you can't order one until September 10th, like I said, so fuck. I'll be waiting. My bottom three are definitely the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Rams in that order, with the worst being the Rams. The shiny strip makes the Dolphins jersey just look tacky. At least the Jets were trying something different in this group, but it flopped very hard. Gotham City, what even is that? But the Rams weren't trying at all, and it looks bad. All right, let's go over the fantasy draft. Overall, very good. I got a lot of the names on my list, and the biggest one that I missed out on was Bucky Irving. You can hear my reaction to that, number 168. But I settled for Gibbs at number 4, and then Brian Thomas Jr. at number 20. Super shocked no one wanted to take Brian Thomas Jr. after the season he had last year. He was my number 1 wide receiver, and he is on par with Neighbors, who went 11th. Neighbors went 11th in our league, and then Brian Thomas Jr. didn't go until I took him at 20. He was the 14th ranked player, too. But there was a huge run on running backs. Like I said, I missed out on Bucky Irving because he went 9th. I thought there was maybe a chance he could fall to the second round, but then I would have missed out on Brian Thomas Jr. Yeah, there's a chance I could have gotten him at the top of the third, but probably not. Then I got Josh Allen in round 3 after Brock Bowers was taken. I decided to take Allen over Jackson. I had the choice, but for some reason this year I was just like, I'll go Josh Allen. He's been a little bit more consistent, passes a little bit better than Lamar Jackson, doesn't run... Well, actually, he runs probably just as much as Jackson does. I thought that was a good choice, especially after Bowers was taken. If Bowers was available here, I would have taken Brock Bowers. But from my list, I got Brian Thomas Jr., Josh Allen, Chuba Hubbard, I think. Not Chuba Hubba. Chuba Hubbard. Josh Downs, Emeka Egbuka, Colston Loveland, and Caleb Williams were the ones that I drafted. And then I picked up Jalen Coker and Isaac TeSlaa. But just because they traded the Packers traded for Parsons, I just picked up Jordan Love. I don't know why the guy that drafted him dropped him, but I also dropped Caleb Williams in favor of Isaac TeSlaa. So I understand maybe they're dropping your backup quarterback for a player that you really think could do well this year. But I had to put in that claim for Jordan Love, and I'm going to drop Coker. If their defense is better, their offense is going to be on the field more often. Just more of a chance for Jordan Love to get more points. Round 1, it was pretty chalk. Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Saquon, Gibbs, McCaffrey, Jefferson, Lamb, Henry. Bucky Irving was the one that I said that I was hoping to get. He went a little bit high for me. St. Brown, Neighbors, Nakua went in the first round. And then the second round, all hell broke loose. The first quarterback was taken. Jalen Hurts was taken at number 15 there in the second round. That's crazy. Frowny, you're insane. And then Genty went number 17 there in round 2. RJ. You're relying on him heavily. All right, so the most surprising pick probably happened in round 2. Our one buddy got called into work. Or actually, he was supposed to leave work, stayed for a double shift, his boss asked him. But he took T. Higgins in round 2 after he took CeeDee Lamb in round 1. He's a Cowboys fan, so he had to take a Cowboys player. But to take T. Higgins as your number 2 instead of another running back like James Cook or Kyron Williams was still there, that's just stretching it a little bit for me. Round 3, the top quarterbacks started to go. Jaden Daniels, and then like I said, I chose Allen, and then Lamar Jackson went 3 picks later. Round 4, I was targeting Omarion Hampton, but he got taken 3 picks ahead of me. Number 6 in the round, and then I just ended up with Chuba Hubbard. God damn it, I keep saying Chuba. But that Omarion Hampton pick kind of made up for Nathan's T. Higgins pick in round 2. But Najee Harris is back to practice, so who knows what's going to happen with him. In round 5, Travis Kelce went at the top of the round. We all thought that was pretty surprising. And then I picked up DJ Moore. Like I said, I do think Caleb Williams is going to have a decent season, so DJ Moore is his number 1 wide receiver. Oh, man, and then I feel bad for Doc down there at number 12 in the round 5. He took Rashee Rice. He was supposed to be available for the first little bit of the season, but he's going to be out for the first 6 weeks of the season. Damn. So then in round 6, I believe in Caleb Williams again, and I took Colston Loveland as my tight end. I targeted tight end a little bit late there because Brock Bowers was gone, so I was like, fuck it, let's focus on wide receiver and a little bit more running backs. Round 6 is also where Tetaroa McMillan went. In round 7, I got him. Emeka Egbuka. Yes. Apparently, Chris Godwin got good reports on his ankle or something, but he's, according to fans, he's probably going to still start the season on the PUP list. So Egbuka is going to be the number 2 wide receiver across from Mike Evans, who's getting older. So Egbuka, might be the primary option sooner rather than later. In round 8, I was like, oh shit, I need a third running back. So I decided to take Tyrone Tracy, who is the running Giant starter. So hopefully he does well. I think the Giants will do better this year than they did last year. Round 8, I thought was also a little bit high for Michael Pittman to go there at the end. And then round 9, I was able to pick up Stephon Diggs in round 9 at number 100 overall. So at least I picked the player that gave my team its name. Okay, here's where things started to get a little bit funky in round 10. The first defense that was taken was the Steelers defense by Doc. What are you doing? And then he has the audacity to complain after the draft. He was like, oh, I don't really like my team that much, but I believe in my defense and kickers. You took a defense in round 10. What are you doing? And it was the Steelers defense. That was the round that I took Caleb Williams as my backup, who, like I said earlier, is no longer on the team, but Kyle Pitts was the player that went after the Steelers defense, just to give you a little bit of an understanding of where we were in the draft at that point. All right, round 11, RJ had said something about Jaden Higgins. He was like, where is Higgins from? And I was like, oh, ISU. Thank you for reminding me, RJ. Drafted him in round 11 here. And I'm definitely keeping him on the bench. Round 12, the next defense to go is the Texans defense. What are we doing here, people? I don't get it. This is where I took Josh Downs, who is now, again, not on my roster for over Jalen Coker, which I'm going to drop for Jordan Love now. But, what are people doing? I don't get it. Then the next round, round 13, the first legitimate defense was the Broncos defense, which I took. The Broncos defense was the obvious pick for the first defense to get off the board. What are people thinking here? And then that's when the run on defenses started. Then the Ravens defense went, then the Eagles defense, then Vikings, then Patriots, then Seahawks in the round 14. Justice Hill is just insurance if Derrick Henry gets hurt. Round 15, I took Tucker Kraft, who I think can be a really good tight end, and I think is a solid backup, at least to Loveland, if he doesn't work out immediately. So I think Tucker Kraft is a fine backup for a tight end there. And then the kicker started going, and then in round 16, took Daniel Carlson from the Rams. Or from the Raiders. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think it was a very, very good draft. To get 9 of the players that I had on my list, like, that I wanted, and to have a choice of some of them is just awesome. Having 14 teams, or having 12 teams, really kind of opened it up a little bit at the top of the draft. I still went for the rookies that I wanted in Loveland and Egbuka, and I really think that it'll turn out well. And then also, like I said, picked up Tislaw. I think that's pretty good. Brian Thomas Jr. was definitely my best pick of the draft, I think, as of right now, because he was not only my number 1 wide receiver, but he was my number 1 player, and I got him at number 21. Yeah, you can't beat that. All right, everybody, I think we've had enough excitement for this episode. Make sure to leave a like and comment on each video and subscribe to our channel. Hoagies and Pierogis is available on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram for clips throughout the week. And we'll leave you with this. Recorded in Central Pennsylvania in front of a live studio audience with your host, Ian DiCarlo. This is Hoagies and Pierogis.